Is Kevin Rudd the election game changer in Queensland? Tears as Julia Gillard ends a rollercoaster ride in Parliament. A state minister reveals his secret cancer battle. Little Patrick's brave recovery after being flung from a thrill ride.
Queenslander!
And a sin bin fast mars the mighty Maroons' origin win.
This is 9 News Queensland.
Good evening. A feisty Kevin Rudd has wasted no time settling back into the role of Prime Minister, but is yet to reveal a new date for the election. For Julia Gillard, a day of reflection and unexpected tears following her dramatic axing.
The second coming of Kevin Rudd, delivered to the private entrance of Government House this morning to be sworn in again to the job he was toppled from 3 years ago. Labor's Back to the Future leadership decision.
Kevin Rudd, 57 votes. Julia Gillard, 45 votes.
Resulted from party panic over disastrous opinion polls so close to an election. Ms Gillard took a late-night drive to Government House to hand in her commission as PM. When Parliament met at noon for what's expected to be the final day's sitting before the election, Mr Rudd clearly savoured what is surely the most remarkable comeback in Australian political history. And he praised the woman who knifed him and has now been knifed by him.
The former Prime Minister has achieved major reforms for our nation that will shape our country's future.
In that case, said the opposition leader,
why was she dragged down last night?
The ousted leadership team watched from the bleachers as Mr Rudd and Mr Abbott locked horns in question time. So far, Mr Rudd has given no information at all on policy changes he proposes, and he won't say when the election will be. Ms Gillard, who remained steely last night as her political career was brought so shockingly to an end, finally became tearful this afternoon during a farewell speech by independent Rob Oakeshott.
Her father would be proud of her.
Laurie Oakes, 9 News.
Well, Kevin Rudd's popularity with voters could save every Labor seat in Queensland. That's the shock prediction from a leading polling expert who says the party could even win a swag of new seats. Well, live to Darren Curtis now at Berlin. But Darren, any word on when the PM will put his popularity to the test?
Well, Andrew, that is the $1 million question. Kevin Rudd is riding high right now. He's sort of got that warm glow, like a honeymoon feeling at the moment. But he, more than anybody, knows that how quickly that support can just dry up and disappear. Now, we must remember, when Kevin was the PM last time, he was very unpopular, even here in Queensland. Now, that could tempt him to go for a very early election date. But at this stage, publicly at least, he hasn't set a time frame for when that will be. Andrew?
All right, Dasha, thank you. Well, away from Canberra now, and there are growing concerns tonight for Nelson Mandela, who's now on life support. Peter Stefanovic is in South Africa. Pete, some worrying developments. Peter, thank you for the updates. Well, back home, and Mark McArdle's gone public, revealing he's been battling an aggressive cancer. And while he will need surgery, the Energy Minister is confident of a good outcome.
Mark McArdle said early detection of prostate cancer, which affects 1 in 10 males and 1 in 5 if there's a family history of it, has probably saved his life. Spencer Jolly, 9 News.
Well, an incredible rescue mission has salvaged Queensland's State of Origin series, keeping the Maroons' dream of 8 straight victories alive. But a piece of Origin history was made for all the wrong reasons at Suncorp Stadium when 4 players were sent to the sin bin over a scuffle. Well, up next, how to check if your street or suburb is a crime hotspot. We're with Little Patrick as he makes the bravest recovery. And how Aldi is taking on Coles and Woolies with cheap alcohol. How safe is your suburb? Well, now you can have access to crime statistics in your neighbourhood, and it's just a click away. The new statewide crime mapping website is about keeping the public informed and on the lookout. You can check out the stats at police.qld.gov.au. Well, the domination of the big supermarkets is being tested on a new front. Discount chain Aldi is starting up an online liquor store to try to put a dent in the market heavyweights. Still to come, the staggering price a fan paid to buy Elizabeth Taylor's wedding dress. But next up, Wal's looking pretty chirpy after a good night at Suncorp.
It was a very enjoyable evening, Lofty. It was one of the great Maroon performances, and it took less than 2 minutes to show the Blues just who was boss. Wimbledon shockwaves as 2 stars get shot down, and world champ Parko now the king of BALI.
And showers for the next few days for southeast Queensland. The weather's soon.
Blues forward Trent Merrin today accepted a one-match ban for striking, while Justin Hodges is clear to play for the Broncos in Sunday's clash with the Warriors in Auckland. The incidents occurred during the Maroons' series squaring 20-point win over the Blues last night at Suncorp Stadium. In this weekend's round 16 NRL games, I favour all the home sides except the Tigers. They face Melbourne Storm, who should win even without sideline skipper Cam Smith. Lofty, that really is one of the world's great sporting events.
Yeah, what a week of upsets. Thanks, Wally. Well, up next, the staggering sum paid for Elizabeth Taylor's wedding gown.
And there's the chance of an east coast low forming off Queensland. Right now in Brisbane, 17 degrees. I'll have the weather next.
In finance, the share market continued its mood of optimism with a second straight day of solid gains after encouraging news about China's financial system and economy. Our dollar's buying 93 US cents and stronger in Europe. Well, Dame Elizabeth Taylor's first of 8 wedding dresses has been sold at auction in London for just over $200,000, more than twice the highest estimate. An 18-year-old Taylor wore the dress when she wed hotel heir Conrad Hilton in 1950. Well, weather time now with Davina. You're making us nervous with all this talk of rain.
Yeah, we got a taste of things to come today, Lofty. A miserable day around the southeast. The heaviest showers were really around the Gold Coast. Coomera has seen 60 millimetres since 9 a.m. Just a couple of millimetres recorded around Brisbane, and we'll see those showers spread north up to the Sunshine Coast tonight. No surprises, the cloud kept it quite cool today. Logan reached a top of 18 degrees. That's 4 below average. Just 14 today in Toowoomba. Brisbane 11 to 20 degrees, a top of 23 on the Sunshine Coast. Caboolture and Redcliffe both reached tops of 21. Now, more showers for southeast Queensland tonight and tomorrow as we see a trough develop off the coast. Now, this is the rainfall modelling for the next 5 days, and there's a chance of an east coast low developing off Queensland. That could intensify the wet weather and bring strong winds. We'll know more about that system, including which way it's going to track in the next 24 hours. Tomorrow, showers for Sydney, Melbourne and Adelaide. Morning fog for Canberra. A sunny, warm day for Mount Isa, 26 degrees. Morning fog for Townsville before a fine day. Fine for Mackay and also for Rockhampton, and a few showers as we move down the coast, and also for Roma, 4 to 22 degrees. A grey day around the southeast, cloudy, scattered showers and not much movement in those temperatures. 14 to 18 tomorrow on the Sunshine Coast. Drizzle tomorrow morning for Toowoomba, reaching a top of 16 degrees. Ipswich 12 to 20, tops of 19 for Logan and the Gold Coast. The Gold Coast will see some rain tonight and showers tomorrow. Now for Moreton Bay, southwest to southerly winds 10 to 15 knots before a southeasterly change. Brisbane, unfortunately, a few showers tonight, cloudy, more showers tomorrow and a top of 19 degrees. The wet weather will increase on Sunday and Monday. We're looking at lows of around 13 degrees, warming up to tops of 18 degrees, and it is going to stick around early next week. It's not, unfortunately, what everyone wants to hear with school holidays.
Doesn't look great, does it?
No.
All right, thanks, Davina. And that's our news for tonight. A current affair coming up with Trace. Good night.